Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Tuesday, November the 15th, the year's 2022. Let's talk trading. Trading without a system is erratic with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and different from Walmal. Walmal, the other day I was either listening to a video, watching a video, or I read something, and I don't know if they were actually talking about trading or not, but they said something, doing something without a system is erratic. And I thought, well, trading without a system is erratic. And I thought we might want to discuss that for the boys, girls, and non-binary traders out there.
Yeah, I would agree with that synopsis or that thesis anyway. 100%. If you're trading without some type of system in place, your trading is going to be erratic. And the reason why is because we as people, as beings, one of our greatest attributes is the fact that we're very creative. And that can be a really good thing, and it can be a really bad thing. And the reason why I say that is because if you're sitting there and you're trading, because we can be so creative, we can create reasons to get into a trade. We can create reasons to get out of a trade. We can create reasons to sit on our hands and do nothing. And the next thing, we've created ourselves into a mess. And that's just the way I look at trading. You need, now part of this is probably my training. I'm trained as an engineer. That's who I am. So therefore, I'm always looking to go and try to put systems around everything. But I think that there's a reason why we have the way we go and build things in this world. If you want to go and build something that looks really nice and yet still has a function, the reality is you go out and you have a bunch of artsy people go and design whatever's going to look nice, and then you go and have the engineers come in and slap some reality into that artsy thing and then actually make it work. You don't go and do it the other way around. You don't go and create whatever and then have the people who are more creative in our mix go and then change what the engineers have laid out, because generally speaking what happens is they've taken something that works and is functional and turned it into something that no longer works because they said, well, we don't really need that structure there. We take that structure out, it looks so much nicer, and then the bridge falls down.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think,
and then we can put that into trading as well.
Yeah, well, you had said something right before the video, something about, because we were watching this move, because I had called you up and said, hey, I thought you said there wasn't any news today. And then you had said, oh, no, I said, there wasn't any big news. And then we were looking, and all of a sudden you said, wait a minute, that was orange yesterday. It's now red. And you said that, hey, if you would have traded the fib lines, you could have really nailed this sucker. So I used the three-level ZZ indicator here that I modified, and I turned on the TRO mods, and I said, show the fib lines for the three balls. And sure enough, it came right down about 61% at the 1934 level after reaching what? 2025 or 2027 high for the day. And retraced, a boatload of pips.
Yeah, and the thing is, what's really funny, at least on my chart, what's really interesting is it went all the way up there, and then the fib line did the 38.2, which is a famous fib line thing to watch. What did it do? It did a nice little retracement up, maybe not that much, but it went up 10 pips. That's a decent thing. Then it ran down to the 50%, and it did a little bit of a retrace off that 50%. This time again, it ran up another 10 pips, and then it crashed through the 50% level, went all the way down to the 61.8. What did it do down there? It ran all the way down, and it ran all the way back up to the 90, or really close to the 90. So the point is that the system or the method doesn't matter. You know, we could have done this with the 3LZZ like you have on your chart, or the fib that I happen to have on my chart. You know, you could have done this with just using indicator 2. You could have done this just using flip-flop boxes. You could have gone and done this with, with high-low boxes. You know, they all point basically to the same thing, or the same type of moves. The problem, though, or not the problem, but actually, I'm going to go and say it the other way. I'm going to be more positive. The solution to actually being able to trade this is going and creating a system around it, and then following the rules and being dedicated enough to go and follow those rules. And don't break the rules. And if you do break the rules, get back, into following the rules as quickly as possible. And what that may be, if you broke the rules, get out of the trade, take the loss, take your punishment, and look for the next trade that comes along, following the rules this time. Why would you let this? Think about it. This thing ran well over 100 pips. So why in the world would you go and stay in a trade that's going to run 100 pips against you because you're being foolish? But unfortunately, we do it. I've seen lots of traders do it. I've seen inexperienced traders do it. I've seen experienced traders do it. And, and the next thing you know, I can't lose this much money. Well, guess what? You're not going to lose this much money. You're going to lose more money.
Yeah.
Realize that you messed up and get out. And the other thing that could have happened was you could have very easily just, the market surprised you. It would surprise me on this move up because, when I looked at the news yesterday, they had the Empire Manufacturing Report, and the TPI. They had them both listed as orange news. So I didn't think very much of it, and I wasn't paying attention to it. I obviously wasn't going to trade it anyway. But, I could have easily gotten into a trade when I shouldn't have gotten into a trade because my rule says don't trade red news. I just have that rule. Well, guess what? That was now red news. And I could have easily gotten surprised. So what do you do in that situation? Get out. Take a 10, 15, 20 pip loss because it runs against you so badly. So what? It's not the end of the day. I mean, you take a 20 pip loss and my goal is 10 pips per day. You know what? I just lost 2 days worth of trading. That's the way I look at it. And say, so let's say, today's Tuesday, so I would have lost 20 pips today. So I would have had basically break even, after Thursday. And that's just how I have to go and look at it and just say that's the world of trading. But I have a system in place that goes and allows me to recover because Monday I made money. Friday, hopefully I'll make money, so, it wasn't a typical week, but I can wind up having enough money in the bank to pay the electric bill so I can, I can convert trade next week. And more importantly, I've got capital in the bank so I can go and trade.
Right. The other thing about this, though, I think we have to talk about is the money management versus the system, because I think your money management, for the most part, has to be separate from whatever method or system you're using, as opposed to part of it, because you don't want your money management changing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree with that. And the thing is, when I say the system, what I'm including in the system is your methodology for getting into trade, your methodology for getting out of trade, your money management, your emotion, your brain management, all those pieces, all those components are part of your system. And they all have to be in. And yes, your method may change, your exit strategy. It does, to me anyway, it doesn't necessarily affect that much how can I say this? It affects, how do I want to say this? I want to be clear. For instance, Walmal trade, what I'm doing, I'm looking for different amount of money that I'm looking to go and make on a Walmal trade, or let me put it a different way for different types of traders, a different amount of pips on a Walmal trade. I'm looking there. Then I am looking for how much what I'm looking to make, let's say on a flip-flop trade. I look at them differently. and I look at them differently on what my exit strategy is as well. So that methodology, if I'm going to go and use methodology A, let's say methodology A is flip-flop, well, my exit strategy has to match that same thing. But at the same time, I may be willing to go and risk the same amount of money sometimes. Now, here's the caveat on that. If I know that doing flip-flop trades, I win 98% of the time, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to probably be more willing to go and take on more risk. In other words, I'm willing to risk more money on the table for that particular methodology than, let's say, a Walmal trade, where with a Walmal trade, I may only be, winning 65 to 70% of the time, so, it will certainly affect it. But at the same time, there's a bottom line here, and the bottom line is my pull cord, my emergency pull cord, when I'm going to get out no matter what, and that's not going to change. And what I mean by that is that if, let's say, I messed up, I didn't follow my exit strategy for whatever reason, so I didn't get out where I should have gotten out based on that methodology, well, I am not going to go under any circumstances. I am not going to cross that line in the sand. Period. I won't cross it. I am going to go and pull the cord at that point, no matter what. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, let's say I'm willing to lose $500 on a flip-flop trade, okay? And on a Walmart trade, I'm willing to go and lose, let's say $300, and I mess up. Well, guess what? No matter what, I am not going to lose more than $600 on any particular trade. And that's just the way I'm going to have to go and play that line, and so you need to have, that's, I think, the part of the system that you have to have in place. So you have an overall system, and then you have your methodologies. In the middle of it, you've got your, you've got your exit plans, you take profit plans. You've got to have, like I said earlier, all those other things have to be part of that entire system.
Right. Oh, and also just a note on that way up, it hit the launch pad, it pulled back a bit, and then took off.
Yep.
I'm telling you, and then it launched, and then it hit the launch pad again, and it ran up. So I'm just wondering, because I was listening or watching this one video, and the guy who had, supposedly had these secrets, and he was basically saying, the big banks, they use round numbers. They don't use like the third, fourth, and fifth digit. They want price to either be at $1.19 or $1.20. And he says that's why prices move between those numbers. And I just thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, and that would explain a lot in terms of why there are certain levels that you see things happen time again. Look at, you look at the launch pad of the 40. How often does it go and do that? You look at the 60. Look at the 60 right now, the 19.6, okay? Look at that. Look at all that congestion level right there. It happens all of the time at that level. I don't know why it happens there, but you just see it. And every single day you see the congestion on, at that 60 level. And so for that reason, I look at it, so it's like, okay, it's heading into a congestion zone. Let's say I'm moving up. I'm going to set my TP right at, 58 or 62, somewhere in there, and just bounce out. Why do I need to go and, take a chance that it rebounds off that thing and goes all the way back down to 40? Not going to do it.
Yeah, because you're the one, because before you always talked about the 60, and because I was so focused on the 60, looking at that, then all of a sudden I kept seeing this move from the 40, and that's when I called it the launch pad. And you know what, boys and girls, non-binary traders, the fastest 15 minutes of trading is over once again. So it's time to take a look in the mirror and answer the question, are you trading with the system? Either you are or you aren't, because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.